On April 5th, 2018, my life took a drastic turn. I was on my way to work, and as I was driving, my right arm went completely numb. So I immediately knew something was wrong, and I turned around and went to emergency. While I was in emergency, as the feeling began to return, I started feeling severe burning, pins and needles sensation, and almost like stabbing sensation in my right hand and in my wrist. And the doctor didn't know what was going on, so he referred me to my primary care physician. I then went to see my primary care physician, who then sent me to a specialist who could not diagnose me. 7 months have passed, and I still didn't receive any treatment nor a diagnosis. So I was then sent to a QME doctor, which is known as a qualified medical examiner, who then diagnosed me with CRPS, which is complex regional pain syndrome, and he declared the state of emergency as far as treatment goes. So he itemized what needed to happen and in the way it needed to happen in order for me to have hope.
Every year, hundreds of thousands of people are being diagnosed with CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome.
And the vast majority of them are going to go months and months not getting the correct diagnosis. And then when they do, they're going to be told that their future is very grim.
Unfortunately, none of that was done, and treatment was pretty sparse. So I was in and out of care and wasn't able to get the proper treatment, which then caused my CRPS to get worse, which eventually led to me not being able to have any function in my right hand. This was very traumatic for me because I'm right hand dominant. So to go from independent to dependent was extremely challenging. My pain increased. I needed help to do everything. I depended solely on my mom and my brother and all my loved ones around me. And I just fell into a really deep, dark depression, and my anxiety was high. I just didn't know what to do.
At a point, I was scared that she wasn't going to be able to move it. But I've been there for her and doing what I can to help since she is limited to what she can do. However, it's pretty embarrassing hearing her coming down the hall at one point needing some assistance with like a dress malfunction. As a brother, I am not trying to be involved in that equation. You feel me? But like my mom's doing her recovery, if she needs me, I'll be there.
Watching Alexis go through this season of battling CRPS has been challenging, to say the least, because as her mom, I want to fix it. I want to make things better. And knowing that there is nothing I can do to relieve her pain and suffering breaks my heart.
Prior to the injury, I worked a corporate 9-to-5 job, and I was a professional makeup artist, and I absolutely loved what I did. One day, my mom walked in the kitchen and she said, "Lex, we don't know when God's going to show up, but we do know that he is. And so in the meantime, we're going to get you functional with your left hand." And that's when my journey began. So I started to learn how to cook and hold a knife. I was petrified to hold a knife. To this day, I am petrified to hold a knife. I learned how to do my makeup with my left hand, so just don't get too close or judge me, because sometimes my brows are not even. But it was a challenge for me, and to this day, it is still a challenge. And in that moment, I realized, though, I am not my diagnosis, and that's what's carried me. Even through this, God has been so incredible to me, because he hasn't even brought me on the other side of this, and yet he's given me so much while I'm in it. And I remember one night I was asleep and he woke me up quickly, and the Lord has downloaded things to me before, but he has never given me specific instructions like he did that night. And he told me that he wanted me to fast and pray for 5 days and get 5 people to do it with me in regards to my healing. I called those 5 people up, and before I can even get the question out, they immediately said yes. So that following week we began, and God just began to do works within that time. And the day before the fast was over, he led my mom to the Spero Clinic in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
So naturally, we jumped for joy when the Lord led me to find the Spero Clinic in Arkansas, which specializes in treating this condition, CRPS, that no one, not even the doctors, seem to know a lot about.
CRPS is still being progressively researched by the medical community. Therefore, insurance does not cover the cost for treatment. Because of this, Alexis will have to come out of the pocket for all expenses to include relocation, lodging, and all medical expenses. This is why we are asking for you to join us in partnership as we sponsor Alexis as she goes to receive her treatment at the Spero Clinic.
If you know Alexis, you know that Alexis is more of a giver than a receiver. And because of this reason, we pushed her in front of the camera to finally tell you her story. A story of pain, a story of trial, a story of triumph, and a story of a testimony to come. And we want you to sponsor her, to partner with us as we try to make the burden lighter on her, for her to be able to focus on her healing and not to focus on the financial burden that this can bring. The information to be able to partner with us as we sponsor Alexis is on your screen. We thank you so much for being a part of this awesome testimony.
In sharing my journey, I pray that it has brought awareness to chronic pain. And for those who are dealing with chronic pain, you are not alone. And for those who are supporting loved ones with chronic pain, please be patient, kind, and gentle with them. And if that's what you can get out of this, then my storm is not in vain.